Welcome, guys, to another episode of the All Things Arsenal. I'm here with Simon and Tony. How you guys doing?
So I was eating then.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good.
and this is the new guest, Tony. Um, as we've talked about, as you've seen, I'm expanding the All Things Arsenal to have other members and co-hosts with me, and that will be now officially not just George. It will be Tony, Simon, and Oliver, who unfortunately is not here today, but will also be in the videos. So yeah, we're building a new team.
A new empire.
Mhm.
To take down tap-ins like Fabrizio. Take them all down
Tappins.
and say nothing but the truth.
Yes, we will say nothing but the truth. So where should we start? Where should we start? There's a lot to discuss.
There is.
So where would you guys like to start? Should we talk about transfers? Should we talk about youngsters? Talk about anything?
I'm up for anything.
Okay, let's start with transfers. If you guys, good evening, Sedan. Guys, I can see people in the audience. If you guys have got any questions to ask, you can fire away here. We're willing to answer them. Let's start with the transfers. We all know Arsenal have their transfer targets. Let's talk about outgoings, such as Guendouzi.
Yep.
A
lot about that one.
He's looking more and more likely to go to Marseille, as Simon said as well. It is done, and Simon will take it off from here.
Pretty much done and dusted. 14 million euros, which I think is actually, I don't know why people are complaining about it. We paid 8 million for him, and we've just got 14 million euros for him, basically, to Marseille. So I don't understand why people are complaining. I mean, I would have loved Guendouzi to stay at Arsenal, but he's just got such a bad attitude.
Yeah, it does. And we make a bit more profit.
Well, there's that, yeah, exactly. But Arteta knows exactly who he wants and who he doesn't want.
Yeah.
And it's clear it's because Guendouzi's undermined him more than once. He's tried giving him a chance, and at the end of the day, if a player is disrespecting a manager, for the manager to go ease him in makes him weak. Could be a sign of weakness to the other players, saying I can walk all over you and you do nothing because I'm talented.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's not just about talent; it's about attitude and commitment to the team, and how you handle yourself on and off the pitch. And Guendouzi only has the talent, but he hasn't got the attitude right now to play for that Arteta is looking for.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we've got the Hossamawa question. The Sam Jess review says, transfer exchange reported about Awa having a meeting at Barca and Real Madrid, but Simon tweeted 4 or 5 days ago. What's the situation? Now, to debunk the Barca and Real Madrid situation, how can Real Madrid afford Awa? They need to sell. Same as Barcelona, they all need to sell. What meeting? That's the thing. I didn't hear about no meeting. The only club I was ever worried about is probably PSG, and yet again, Alas will never sell to PSG. He has no interest in selling to PSG.
Exactly, he won't sell to a direct rival.
So I first of all, Real Madrid and Barcelona cannot afford him. PSG will have to sell midfielders. Not only that, Alas will make it very hard for him to sign him to a direct rival of his. So, to me, and Juventus have way too many midfielders. I mean, they want to sign Hakan Çalhanoğlu. Not only that, they want to sign Locatelli. So that means they're not getting Aouar. There's generally only one club for Aouar, and that's Arsenal.
Yes.
Whether it's just a matter of we can get the players out, yeah, and then we'll move. Can we say the same about Celiba? The same about Celiba. What I've heard about Celiba is that loads of people will inquire about Celiba. Celiba's highly rated. He's been highly rated for ages. He was seen as the Mbappe of defenders. So it's no secret that other teams are interested in making inquiries. But from what I'm told, if anything comes in, Arsenal are just going to straight up say no. Because until we put, and these inquiries will keep happening probably till he makes his debut. So, of course, William Saliba is going to have loads of rumored interest from other places, but he's not going anywhere. He's seen as a starting partner of Gabriel next season.
Exactly. Same as Barcelona and Real Madrid have inquired about him already. It was Real Madrid that reached out to Nice, thinking that he was actually Nice's player. Because a lot of people thought he wasn't on loan. They thought he actually left. It's weird, basically. But a lot of teams have inquired about him. PSG is one of them. They see him as a potential replacement for Marquinhos as well. And Arsenal, as I said basically ages ago, they've discussed a new contract with Celiba. All that will come out probably sometime in the next few weeks, maybe the next few months. But Arsenal are looking after William Saliba's interest, basically. And if you want him, he will be at least 80 to 100 million you'll have to pay for him. When you see how good this kid is.
I've just seen a
tweet.
tweet.
Arteta wants to keep him.
Yeah.
Just seen a tweet.
Just seen a tweet from Joe Laguna, which just makes me absolutely laugh my head off. Would you take Gabriel Jesus if Lacazette leaves?
No.
No chance. What?
No.
I don't know what he's smoking, but no, I wouldn't take Joe Gomez.
I don't even think our Arsenal would even try. I don't think Man City would want to sell Gabriel Jesus.
I think the reason
I heard he
why
wants to leave.
I think the reason he's saying
he
that
has been homesick.
Worked with them. Of course, we've done billing with City players because he's worked with them.
Yes, like he's worked with them before, so it's an easy link to draw up. If anyone's signing, it was either going to be Riyad Mahrez, in my opinion.
I'd love Riyad Mahrez, definitely.
Definitely.
And they have put him up for sale. They have put him on the transfer list in the summer with Raheem Sterling and Bernardo Silva.
Now, another thing to debunk this, even Celiba has given a couple of... No, he hasn't. He has not given a couple... That's you reading in between the... He actually hasn't. He hasn't given an interview where he's expressed his displeasure against Arteta. He's never actually said that. The only thing he said is that he wish he was given a chance, which, fair enough. I mean, he didn't play a full year in France, but you have to see where Arteta was coming from. He was assessing all the players in the summer and seeing if he was ready or not. And at the time, Celiba wasn't ready. So it was... I don't think it's where he's expressed his displeasure against Arteta. That's not true. I don't think so.
Do you think, though, we should have got rid of him on loan earlier in the season?
Yes. That's the big mistake they made.
Yeah.
Keeping him. Have you guys heard of any youngsters that will play next season? Who's the one that's... Simon, I think you know about this. Do you guys know the youngsters? They'll get promoted next season.
Oh, yeah, that's coming to the first team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Basically, there's Lopez, one of the fullbacks. You've got Taylor Hart as well. He's getting promoted, and Gabriel Aziz.
Oh. Good
Miguel
crop.
Aziz, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, who's Gabriel Aziz? Is that his brother?
Buendia news. So far, all I know from Buendia news is that Arsenal submitted a bid. That was rejected, but Arsenal are going to go in again with a better offer, and they're happy. Norwich may be willing to come down on the price they were offering.
Yeah,
if it's structured correctly. So, yeah, that's what I've heard. What about you two?
Well, I've heard that, and Simon and I discussed it we've discussed it already, but it's guaranteed going to be at least 30 million. Whether the sporting director came out this morning and said it himself, if we do sell him, it'll be have a free at the start of it. So it'll be at least 30 million.
So that's what I'm told. Sam, what about you?
I've been. Well, I told you this last night in the chat. I've been told it's 30 mil plus Eddie Nketiah.
What, on a permanent deal or loan?
A loan for a season, plus 30 mil for the player.
I think that's a good deal, but I just find it strange though. Why would we want to loan Nketiah if we're not keen on extending his contract?
You could give him a season at Norwich, and then more teams can look at him and go, well, he's had a fair crack now. He's actually played week in and week out. And it could actually get Arsenal's price for Eddie Nketiah slightly a little bit higher.
So do you think we'll give him an extension and then sell him on next season?
Well, I asked this person that, and he said basically they could just get Eddie Nketiah to sign a 1-year extension or a 2-year at most. But then he knows he's not staying at Arsenal, so he knows the situation. Same as Reece Nelson. Reece Nelson could be offered an extension and then basically go out either on permanent or loan.
Yeah, I've heard he's linked with Olympiacos with that. Another offer.
I have heard about that, but I also know that that's fake.
Oh, okay.
That's not true. That's not true. And plus, if it was, he wouldn't want to go there anyway.
No, who would?
That's a made-up story, that.
Any news and what's his name? Edmund Taposa. I think, Simon, you had the lowdown on this. You had like the actual...
basically
you got the
when
best
people
information on the deal.
Yeah, when people are saying that, Arsenal won't pay the money that Bayer Leverkusen want, I can reassure people now that it's just me saying it. Like, it's not like I'm bleeding Fabrizio, but basically I can say that Arsenal will pay the asking price for this centre-back, even if it means the biggest signing in the summer is this guy from Bayer Leverkusen. They'll make it happen if they can.
And I've also been told, well, Simon and I probably know the same source. We've also been told by, do we say Pedro's name? We'll just say Pedro. He's tweeted that there's 50% chance of him coming to Arsenal.
Oh, yes, he did.
Which was quite surprising. That 50%.
There's actually
I didn't think it would be that high.
He's seen as a marquee signing. So you know Arsenal and their marquee signings.
Yeah, the ones that are very delayed.
Mm-hmm.
Announcing them on the last day of the window. Yeah.
We answered this question earlier. Yves Bissouma and Emi Buendia.
Buendia we have, but Bissouma we haven't touched on officially.
Listen. I don't know what more to have to say.
Neither do I. Join the dots.
No comment.
We'll just say join the dots. That's the safest bet.
You know, keep your eyes peeled. That's all I'm saying.
On Bissouma, I've put all the information that you can see on my Twitter. If you want to know about Bissouma, just flick through and you'll see it. I'm fed up of people asking me constantly all the time. Nothing's changed. Literally, nothing has changed.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I saw people attacking you on Twitter, Simon, about the Hosmawa deal, which I thought was a bit unfair.
Oh, I'm used to it, trust me. Sorry, because the same people that were saying that, this idiot thinks Lukaku's leaving. Now what we're saying.
Yeah.
When Fabrizio even comes out and says something as well. Even though the agents of Hakimi, Lukaku, Barella have all come out and said, basically, that every player has a price. And Inter Milan need money. Inter Milan need money. This is why Antonio Conte left, because he wanted to go out and sign 3 or 4 players that can elevate and try and go for the Champions League. But they told him, well, no, we've just won the league. Now we need to look at selling players. We need to get money back, basically, what they've lost through pandemic and through fans not being in stadiums.
Yeah.
Which is why he left.
Exactly. He's a very demanding manager, Antonio Conte, very demanding manager.
And the people want him at Arsenal. It's not easy. It's not easy. ES Grimes linked us to Zakaria. It's an option. basically it's Borussia Mönchengladbach wanting Xhaka as well as Roma, and they've offered us Zakaria for the player. But I don't think we want Zakaria.
No, we don't.
So of Borussia Mönchengladbach wanting Xhaka back because he used to play for them, remember? It's Borussia Mönchengladbach wanting him back and offering us Zakaria in a swap deal. Because if Zakaria's price has dropped down due to his performances over the few years, so he's worth 15 million. So they were willing to offer Xhaka and him the swap deal, which Arsenal will not sign.
Yeah,
Any news on right?
There's loads of fake news going about at the minute because apparently I've seen that Arsenal want €5 million for Kolasinac. They don't at all. The maximum that they want is €3 million. And if they don't get €3 million and the transfer drags on till the end of the summer, they'll just cancel his contract. They'll pay off his contract.
Yes. I think we should have done that ages ago, but
Arsenal are not afraid of losing money on Kolasinac. That's why they've already basically prepared themselves to pay his contract off. But if they can try and get a deal done, they will try.
But it's just such a shame, though, that I think I'm right in saying, tell me if I'm wrong, but we had nearly all done €15 million from Bayer Leverkusen last summer, which I would have snapped your arm off for, but who knows?
Well, the thing with Bayer Leverkusen, it was Arsenal that was demanding that sort of money, and Leverkusen were turning round and saying, I'm not being funny, but we're skint. We can't afford that. So that's why it dragged on and dragged on and dragged on, and then it didn't happen. But he was all set to go to Bayer Leverkusen. The player was in Germany. He was ready to undergo his medical, but Leverkusen just would not agree to that deal, basically. Because they've got no money. They've got no money.
They couldn't afford it. Any news on right backs? I reported this on my Twitter page. Let me see if we can get it out. Arsenal have a short list. It was Celik, Missouri from Ajax, and Aarons. Not only that, another player that I didn't actually mention is Ridu Baku. I didn't actually mention it, but I did. I didn't actually mention it. George will be happy with this. Ridu Baku. Also, I've held talks with Ridu Baku's agents as well. Whether they'll go for him is another story, but they are interested. Yes, very good. Probably one of the best. The only person I would say is better than him in that shortlist is probably Celik.
Yeah.
Even then, he's probably better than Celik. Ridu Baku is very good.
Well, I know that basically that I've been told that the favourites for right back at the minute for Arsenal is Emerson Royal, and they are in serious talks at the minute as well for the
Arsenal
player.
Or Villarreal.
Arsenal.
Oh, both want him. Of course, Unai Emery wants to ruin it.
It's more serious with Emerson Royal than it is with the guy from Lille.
So
as things stand.
Yeah, the guy from Lille is more him pushing it than Arsenal. He wants to go to Lille.
Yeah, Arsenal are pushing more towards Emerson Royal.
Yeah.
And if they don't get him, it'll be Max Aarons basically as the alternative.
What's this? Simon, a question for you. According to Simon, regarding our Arsenal have made a bid, it has been agreed, but no update till now. Yep, this is what I was talking about. People attacking you yesterday because you said medical pending, and then you went back on your word or something like that.
It's not medical pending. It's the players agreed personal terms. The agent, which is Wazaman, has agreed personal terms as well. They've sorted the deal out between Lyon and Arsenal, and the fee has been sorted out as well behind the scenes. This is only what I've been told. Now that's all that's left is for both clubs to come to an agreement when they can go forward with the medical. But anything can change. All it can take is for something to happen, and then a Champions League team comes in and goes, right, we're going for Aouar. That leaves Arsenal well out of it, because his number one priority is a Champions League team. But he's happy with the persistence of Mikel Arteta. He feels honoured and feels appreciated by Arteta, who has held numerous conversations through text and messaging and phone calls, who's actually done Zoom chats with the player as well, and literally told the player that he wants to build his midfield round someone like Houssem Aouar. It's easier for Arsenal to do a deal for Aouar and Buendia than it is just for Jack Grealish. Because Jack Grealish, everyone can laugh, but Jack Grealish was a real target for Arsenal this summer. A real target.
It would have been incredible if he pulled it off, but to be fair, 2 for the price of 1, I guess.
He's turned down Manchester United.
Which is...
It were close to going to Man United last summer, but he turned it down, and now he's fully concentrated on Manchester City. That's why Raheem Sterling and Mahrez and Bernardo Silva are up for sale, because they have to get rid of 3 to 4 players to bring in Harry Kane and Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
And they also still want to bring in Nuno Mendes.
It'll be very interesting to see what the lineup will be for Arsenal in the future then. Because if they do go with that 4-3-3, will they go for 4-3-3? Have Aouar...
Now, this is the thing. Do you guys trust Arteta?
Yes.
Because I know some people...
I'm still 50-50 at the minute. I'm still 50-50, but I want him to get the midfield that he wants so he can show me what he's capable of doing.
True.
But I can understand. Okay. I can understand what fans are saying when they're saying, I won't trust him with spending money. I won't trust him to bring someone like Jack Grealish in because he'll have him playing left back. So I can understand that with how the season's gone on and how he's changed the formation 36 times in the Premier League this season, and how he's played players that are doing well and then dropped them. I can understand where people are coming from.
But do you see the similarities where he gets that from?
I see the similarities.
You saw it yesterday. You saw it yesterday. Not yesterday. Was it a few days ago?
I saw it at the Champions League final.
Yeah.
Exactly. A fact about that Champions League final. Did you know 50, I think it's 59 of his 60 Premier League games that Pep Guardiola has started Fernandinho or Rodri in the starting lineup. Do you know the one game he didn't? Do you know the one game he didn't? That Champions League final. I saw that stat on Twitter, and that blew my mind. Why would you change a good tactical system?
That much.
Exactly. So it goes to show that it's not easy being a manager, and you can see where he gets it.
Yeah, definitely.
So moving on, let's talk about outgoings, because you clearly briefly mentioned it. We talked about Guendouzi, you talked about Kolasinac. What about other players such as Reece Nelson? Have you heard anything about where Reece Nelson's going, Simon?
The only link so far that I've heard is Norwich and Borussia Dortmund as like a Sancho's replacement.
Yeah,
because I think he'd be awesome at Dortmund.
Well, he did well at Hoffenheim, didn't he? He did very well at Hoffenheim. It's a league that he's kind of used to, and there are more and more English players going there, so it could be a good atmosphere for him.
The thing is about Reece Nelson, he just needs to be our club, which will give him playtime and he'll explode. He'll explode because he hasn't had that. You know, when youngsters have the explosion in development.
Yeah.
So you see that explosion in Jadon Sancho is taking him up a level. Reece Nelson's missing that, and once he has it, he'll be a world-class player. Not world-class, but he'll be a very good player. Talking about left back, a young left back or Patrick Van Arnold. I was told Arsenal looking at. Josh Doig from Hibernian. Um, that guy from PSV, the left back. I can't remember his name. We talked about it yesterday. I just can't pronounce it.
Yeah.
It's
Let me
like
do that. The one from Feyenoord, do you mean?
exactly. See that right left back. I don't know much about him, but I've heard he's very good.
Tyrell Malakia.
Tyrell Malakia. Yeah,
And it's
Arsenal scouts.
not,
I like the look of him.
even though Daniel has been saying it's Tyreek Mitchell, it's not.
Yeah, it's not Tyreek Mitchell. It's not Tyreek Mitchell. It's not.
Tyreek Mitchell's the
Oh,
one from Palace. Tyrell Malakia is the one from Feyenoord.
that's the thing. I don't believe Arteta's not one. I'll debunk that. One, Arteta's not clueless. Two, the players looking lost is not 100% down to Arteta. That's the players not being concentrated. And you mistake loss for lack of concentration. All these players have turned bad overnight. Well, yes, they always do this. They've done this again. They did it for Wenger, they did it for Emery, and they're doing it for Arteta. It's not turning bad. It's about having a lack of balance in your team. And when there's no balance, there's no cohesion. And when there's no cohesion, there's no consistency. So
Yes, and I would also like to add, Arteta is clueless. Well, he clearly isn't, especially as he won over numerous people going for that job. And I'm not going into
not only
names.
that, for a clueless manager, he's not very clueless if he can beat Tuchel, Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp. I think he's beating all these managers. He clearly must have something about him. Yeah. Clearly, he must have also something about him for him to win the FA Cup against the odds against a Man City team and inspire a style that currently Chelsea use. Chelsea used to win the Champions League. The defensive style against Man City, the defensive 3-5-2, but allows you to counter attack at speed.
Yeah, and
Similar
even
to like.
And the fact is,
Yeah, go on.
and the fact is, he isn't clueless. Like, I'm sorry, but we were all worried that Aubameyang would leave in the summer. He convinced Aubameyang to stay. He convinced Saka to sign a new deal. He's getting our youth involved. He wants Emile Smith-Rowe to sign a 5-year contract, which is very close to happening. I think it's done. I'm not entirely sure. Simon will confirm on that. But
yeah, there's no to worry about Smith-Rowe. No to worry about that.
But he's managing to convince these players to stay on. Like Saka had links with Liverpool and Bayern Munich, but he chose to stay at Arsenal. He saw something.
So he's not that 13 losses. But to be fair, how much of these 13 losses can you blame on Arteta? I can name 4 of those losses that shouldn't have happened due to other circumstances.
VAR.
I can put 6 of those losses down to one player, Xhaka. I can put 5 as well down to performances last season, down to not just the manager's fault, but just our midfield in general.
And VAR.
It's the play, like red cards shooting themselves in the foot. The red card, Xhaka being stupid. You saw Pepe doing the same thing, basically ruining the game plan. It's not just Arteta. There's other circumstances that led to those 13 losses that we've had.
I'm not putting excuses out there, but VAR did affect us quite badly. Like, I'll admit, like the game against Everton, like for example, the game against Everton at home, we could have got a draw for that. If you guys remember the Pepe arm situation, that could have been a penalty
against Burnley. Do you know, according to stats, if VAR worked the way correctly and made the right decisions, we would have been 4th. We would have been 4th, actually. Do you know how many points we would have gained due to VAR errors? They admitted it was errors. We would have been 4th in the league. So these losses are not just down to Arteta. It's not clueless. It's been a lot of things that contributed to that 13 losses. Of course, he's made mistakes. Of course, he has.
Like, I can see 4 errors that VAR have made in my head that I'm remembering. Like, for example, Leicester at home when apparently Xhaka was obstructing Kasper Schmeichel, which was ridiculous. as I said, Pepe, the offside by his arm, the Burnley incident with Lacazette, and also when even Emi Martinez, a former goalkeeper for us, nearly tackled down Lacazette. That could have been a penalty. That could have been a 1-1 draw in all of those games. We could have got points from those. Add those up together, that's about 5 points. We would have been top 4 from just those points alone.
Thank you, Tristan. Respect to Tristan, man. In fact, I want to get Tristan on here.
Definitely, we need
Tristan, is your DM open? Hold on, I'm coming, Tristan. I want to. Let me see if I can get you on here, man.
Daniel, is this Tristan as in the one from Trinidad?
Yep, I think so.
Yeah, he's a top quality guy. He was asking me about other clubs. And ironically, I got one spot on. Like, because I said that, I know you're going to laugh. Like, there's this guy that's linked with Chelsea called Zabarini, which I thought it might be an off chance. But then, that Nicolo Shakra guy confirmed it as well. So I was quite proud that they actually got that right. But I don't know how much he's worth, that guy, or anything.
Any news on staff recruitment? Tony, you know a bit about this.
Yeah. Regarding the under-23s coach, they're probably most likely going to keep it internal. I have heard they are very, very happy with Steve Bold's assistant. For the life of me, I can't remember his name. Do you remember what his name was? Ryan Gould, wasn't it? Not Gould.
Something Gary.
Oh, Gary, God. I'm trying to remember now. Ryan Gary. That was it. They're very happy with him. He's young, and I think personally he would be fantastic for the under-23s, giving that new fresh blood that they need, even though he's an internal player. And he knows how the academy works. He was in the academy himself. He knows how it works and the old Arsenal way. I don't see no problem with him coming in. Regarding other coaching staff, people do know that Martin, the coach, has accepted his role at Arsenal as the academy goalkeeper coach. That is confirmed. And then the other one, there is going to be the strength and conditioning coach, I believe, from being Sheffield Wednesday. It is also confirmed. He's coming in to help the academy out.
Okay. Yeah. So while I get Tristan on, Tony, I want to add you've got some info on other clubs as well. I know you have as well. So yeah. I like to open the floor for you to open it on other clubs.
Okay. Ask away.
No, like tell me like what you've got from other clubs, such as Championship, Premier League.
Well, Championship. Oh, let me get this up. I've heard quite a few rumours regarding Blackburn with their striker Adam Armstrong. A few clubs are interested. West Ham being the favourite. It was 15 to 20 million, which would be. I don't know if that's a good deal or not. I don't watch the Championship that much, but regarding, I know it's not Championship, but Glenn Murray has now announced his retirement. That is confirmed.
Mm.
And Matt Jarvis, if anyone remembers him from Wolves, he's now retired. It's mostly retirements I'm getting news from. But the main one that I saw this morning when I got told, I was quite surprised, was the fact that Derby want to buy a new central midfielder, which I was quite surprised who it is. And they're relying on, they're not wanting to spend money that much, Derby, but they are wanting to renew Martin Waghorn's contract. Cardiff are really desperate to get him, though. It will be a matter of days or weeks when we find out which one he decides. Personally, I see him staying more likely to be at Derby, but I
thought Rooney might go.
Rooney, I have heard. I've heard he's staying, but
wow.
Well, you heard a different, Simon.
No, I just don't rate him as a manager. I just
Well,
don't.
no,
He's literally so lucky that they avoided relegation because
Yeah.
with Sheffield Wednesday and Rotherham that were just crap. Literally, they were just crap.
and
Any other team that were fighting relegation, they would have gone down. They look lost, Derby. They look no organisation. Rooney ain't got a clue what he's doing when it comes to his substitutions. His tactics are just out of the window. He's beating Sheffield Wednesday 2-1 at their ground, and then all of a sudden he makes 2 substitutions and it's 3-3.
yeah,
He's just clueless as a manager, but he was never a leader anyway on the pitch.
But the 4 things I have heard mostly that I'll admit I know a bit more about Bristol City than any other Championship club because I've got a few mates down there. They are looking for Tom Lees from Sheffield Wednesday as a defender. They want a new goalkeeper. They are very resigned to getting rid of David Bentley, even though he has had a good season. He's linked with the likes of Southampton, I've heard. They're keeping tabs on him. And their replacement, they were looking at Ben Foster from Watford.
Yeah, I've heard about that one.
But I cannot confirm that is going to happen. I would say it's more likely he'll stay in Watford.
It's just talks at the minute. It's just talks.
Yeah. And I've also heard that Bristol City, Luton are very interested in getting Reece Burke from Hull. I think that is pretty much a done deal now. Reece Burke used to play for West Ham, but I can tell you that loads of clubs wanted him. Bristol City, Cardiff, and Millwall all really wanted him, but Luton have got him. I would say that's all I've got really.
What about the Premier League other teams, such as what is the Crystal Palace managerial situation looking like?
They are very, very interested in Dennis Sean Dyche. No secret in that. They have
Crystal Palace.
Dyche. This is where it gets quite surprising. They are happy to go with Dyche. Burnley are okay with getting rid of him, but they would have to pay a compensation fee of £3 million. That is confirmed. So it's most likely going to be Sean Dyche. Regarding Burnley manager replacement, I haven't got a clue. I see personally Eddie Howe might be going back to Burnley, but I'm not entirely sure.
What about Wolves? Because there was talks about Bruno Lage, but I'm hearing Brexit is stopping that. So obviously, if it doesn't go the way it's supposed to go, they have to look at other options. One option I'm heard that is on the list is probably Steven Gerrard.
Yes.
Wolves. Whether they will convince him to leave is a different story.
Well, the thing is...
So, what about you guys?
Well, I've heard that they're not fully giving up on Bruno Lage. I know Brexit rules mean Brexit. It's happening. It's no way. But I have heard tomorrow there is a meeting going on. Because obviously it's a work permit meeting they need to have. I think it's like a review kind of thing they're doing to see if he is definitely qualified enough to do it. If that outcome comes successful, they've got Bruno Lage. If they don't, they're looking at Steven Gerrard. But I know Steven Gerrard is in talks with Rangers to extend his contract on a better wage.
Yeah, they've offered him a really good package, Rangers, to try and keep him because they don't want to lose him. Plus, 5 players from Rangers have even spoken to Gerrard, literally gone to his house to try and tell him not to leave Rangers and that he's building something special there.
And I see that he will stay at Rangers. He loves the fans. He's liking life at the moment there. And the other one that I've heard linked is Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard is linked. He has made it no secret that he wants to find another job. He's quite apparently bored at home, but he has made no secret he wants another job. More likely to be Crystal Palace than Wolves. is what I've heard.
There was some information that I found out about Chris Wilder as well. He's actually held 2 meetings with Wolves. He held 2 meetings. He held a meeting in January with Wolves. So they've been planning this for a very long time. And at Sheffield United, he was already close to the chop then anyway. And then the other meeting was April, I think it was, end of April.
Yeah. I heard that Chris Wilder wanted to resign twice from Sheffield United, once in December and once in January, which he eventually did.
Yep.
But I would like to add, though, even though Sheffield United have got their new man, I would say a very good appointment that they have got. Slavia Juhanovic, I think he is, the former Watford manager. I would say that's a very good appointment. He brought Fulham and Watford back up to the Premier League. He knows the Championship quite well from that. So I see a very good appointment from there. Regarding Chris Wilder, he is in advanced talks with West Brom. I wouldn't say it's guaranteed to be happening, but I would say it's more likely to happen than not. Don't know what else to add really towards managers or new other things.
Yeah, the surprise one as well for Wolves is that they've spoken with St Etienne's manager as well.
Which would be fantastic for them.
They've spoken with him as well. He's one of the candidates for the job. Along with Atlanta.
No, don't forget about Tottenham and their talks.
Oh, Tottenham. Yeah, talks with Tottenham. They're not getting Pochettino.
Nope. PSG will not allow it.
PSG are not allowing him to leave now, which I thought last night it was all but certain he was going to Real Madrid.
Things can change.
Things can change like flicking a switch, like as Simon has had in the past. He said that Allegri was all but done to Real Madrid, and then last second Juventus came in. But I can also tell you about West Brom that one of their key players wants to leave, which is no surprise because he is Matthias Pereira to Leeds. He is wanting to join Leeds. He has sent
probably as a replacement. Probably as a transfer replacement for Rafinha, because they play in a similar position in case Rafinha leaves.
Well, there's 2 clubs in Pereira. West Brom are willing to do business with Leeds, Villa, and even France. There's a club in France that want him. But
yeah, Brentford as well that have come up. They're actually not advanced, but they've actually reached out to Ainsley Maitland-Niles.
Oh, I did not know that. That'd be an interesting move if you could get it.
They've also inquired about Joe Willock as well, but Newcastle are determined to get that deal done.
It's very optimistic.
Very.
Yeah, it's very optimistic. I like that.
It seems like Arsenal would want to raise funds first on top of their budget before spending, because look at the amount of money they could get from the sales they would be interested in selling. We're talking about Joe Willock, 25 million. We're talking about Matip. That's why I'm not really fussed about valuation. Plus, you have to take in consideration these teams are in a COVID pandemic. So when people talk about when people are overvaluating players, you have to be real. Look at the market.
Yeah, I would also like
to
add
45 million is a lot.
I would also like to add about Brentford, though. Sorry about that, Daniel.
Oh, yeah?
But
go on.
They are very close to making Winston Reid a permanent deal. They had him on loan,
hasn't he?
Huh?
He's been brilliant for them, hasn't he? Brentford.
He has been, I would say, one of the reasons they are staying up. They had gone up. And they are very close to keeping him permanently. Which, not as a West Ham fan, but he has been a loyal servant for West Ham about 11, 12 years. Maybe it's what he needs. New start.
Yeah, they're already looking at new strikers. They're already looking at new strikers as well, Brentford, for next season. So that might be an indication that Ivan Toney could be leaving. because they've made inquiries about Sheffield United striker. Is it McGoldbridge?
Ooh.
They've made inquiries about him, and then they've also made inquiries about what's his name? Bloody
What club?
Southampton. What's his name?
Not Jay Adams.
No, not him.
Not
He's
Dan-
from the.
Obafemi?
That might actually I don't know.
It's not Danny Ings, surely.
No, it's not Danny
No, it's
Ings. No
Obafemi.
chance.
I was going to say, yeah, it must be Obafemi.
I think it is that. I'll have a look in chat. I can't have a look now, but I'll have a look.
Yeah. I would hope so. If Danny Ings, I would be very surprised. Then I would say Simon's definitely on something, if that was the case. But
Danny Ings, no chance.
Yeah.
Question. When will it be enough for you guys? 12 next season, 15 losses. I'm genuinely curious. Where do you draw the line with Arteta since 13 losses just make you guys shrug? This season's a weird season. Yes, you've got a point saying next season we might be 15. But yes, we could also say we could be fourth. Who knows? If we get the right signings, we could be fourth. I mean, look at West Ham. Who predicted they would finish fifth in the Premier League?
crazy.
Fifth or sixth in the Premier League. Who predicted they would finish in the Europa League? The table could change. It's about getting the right balance in the squad and getting rid of the players that are not needed.
And the fact that West Ham did it with not very significant investment, like Krufal 5 million, Souček 15 million, Benrahma on a loan and then turn permanent for 25 million, and then you see Jesse Lingard going from £3 million loan fee. They know their play style they want to do. That's what they're building.
And that's what we need to be patient with. We have to be real.
Exactly. Arsene Wenger wasn't successful straight away. We gave them time.
It's not about. It's also about having balance in your team. All winning team has balance in their squad. Yes, individually our players are good, but as a collective, no, they're not. They're not consistent enough. You've got sprinkles of quality around the pitch. That's not enough. You've got and these players are young, like 21, so they're going to be inconsistent anyway. These players are raw. Look how we're relying on Saka and Smith Rowe, whereas we've got our midfield is Xhaka, El Neni, Ceballos, and you're talking to me about how Arsenal are 15th. Man, with that midfield, of course they're going to be 15th.
Yeah,
of course they're going to be 15th.
Yeah, if it was Partey, Bazuma and Alba, then you'd be worrying.
Yeah. And I would also like to add, which I'm just reading, nothing to do with our position or anything, but this is from Eduardo Hagen, the so-called journalist. He's saying that should we at least make an offer for Memphis Depay?
No, waste of time.
I don't think we should. I think the thing is, the situation at Barcelona or Koeman has made it stall. But I don't see why we need to make a move.
I think I'm literally the only one that thought Memphis Depay struggled at Man United. He struggled in the Premier League massively. He struggled for space. He got muscled out by every single centre-back as well. He scored a few good goals, don't get me wrong, but some of them were tap-ins. He just got absolutely bodied every single week when he was at Manchester United.
And the thing is,
he's young. He was young there, Simon.
He was young, yeah. He was young, but that's what I mean. The age that he was then, he was raw, basically. He was like... I just didn't rate him in the Premier League at all. I thought, United, this guy, he ain't going to stay here for long. Some of their fans loved him. I've got no idea why, but I'm not a United fan.
Well, thank goodness for that. But
I must say we need to balance. Okay, Simon, you had some news about Laka. Tristan again, my good friend Tristan. I must say we need to balance our squad. What's your thoughts on Laka, on where he may end up?
Well, Lacazette will be having conversations with Arsenal this week. Obviously, going back to the Emirates, he'll sort out with Mikel Arteta what he wants to do, basically, because Arteta still likes him as a key part of his squad. He just likes his hold-up play, basically, and how he does so much for the team. But if he doesn't agree and doesn't sign an extension, they'll sell him, and then Arsenal's number one striker to replace him is Ivan Toney.
Yeah.
Brentford are wanting 25 million for him. It could be 30. Now they're a Premier League team. It could go up by another 5 mil, but that's who Arsenal want.
Even about the goalkeeping position, Arsenal, you just reminded me about the goalkeeper position, about possible backup goalkeeper, Leno and stuff.
If Leno leaves, I've been told that Arsenal will move for David, is it Rhea?
Yeah.
From Brentford. They'll move for him. They tried to get him last January as well, but that didn't work out.
And a good indicator to see who was better was the playoff final.
Yeah.
I heard, I'm pretty sure Arsenal are probably watching those two goalkeepers, seeing which one they would prefer.
Yeah.
It could be a situation where we need two goalkeepers in the summer if Leno decides to leave. But Leno is actually happy at Arsenal. He's just not happy with the coaching at the minute. He's not happy with the goalkeeping coach that he's been given since January.
Yeah.
Arsenal are interested in Sander Berg. So I've just seen that on
Who's this?
Football London. Football London also interested in Sander Berg.
Oh God.
That's the thing. Raya doesn't convince me, I'd much prefer Onana.
I don't think Sander Berg will happen. Sander Berg was only wanting to come to Arsenal because Martin Odegaard was here, basically. And Arsenal
now
tried.
Odegaard.
Yeah, now it's come out in, obviously, Madrid sources and everything now that he's going to be a key part of the squad next season for Real Madrid, and that he's been added to Real Madrid's squad next season and pre-season, which is exactly another thing that I said when everyone was saying Odegaard is Arsenal's number one target.
Yeah.
That's why Arsenal are looking at other players. That's why I'm saying, like, we try to give out the information that we can, and then you see people like that complaining, and then when we're right, I was like, oh, you never said that anyway. Like, the only person I know who has gone away with like coming up with a transfer that doesn't happen and gets away with it is Fabrizio Romano. Have you guys noticed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that already.
Well, everybody else has to suffer. Anyway, Donnarumma on a free. Yeah, I think Donnarumma on a free is much better than getting Raya.
Yeah.
I've heard, like, if Leno's going to go anywhere, it's probably Dortmund.
But you can also... I know, but mate, you can see if Leno doesn't leave, why would we get Donnarumma as number 2? We would clearly want number 1.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, in an event that Leno leaves, we could target Leno.
Yeah, the thing is, if I were Arsenal, I would let Leno go and bring 2 keepers in, and I would have Donnarumma as number 1.
Why did you close the door?
Donnarumma as number 1, and then Onana as number 2. That's what I would do. Onana, it all depends on his hearing, and as well as Leno's future.
That's pretty much so far the only information that's been presented, basically, in the media, what they're talking about.
But I know a lot of you guys are probably going to think, what do these 3 people know about the transfers? That information we tell you. Even though we say Awar, Buendia, and Basuma thing, like bids and accepted and stuff, how in the mainstream media yet. Don't don't think we don't believe they are frauds. We're not.
It's all a thing. A player can agree.
Yeah,
What's
carry on,
that?
Simon. Simon. You
Sorry,
carry on,
basically,
carry on.
like I said, a player can agree on personal terms with a club. That's never a sticking point. The sticking point is a fee. Once the fee is agreed, and the player is then wanting to move to a new club, that's when it'll get awkward for basically. Let me just throw some at that. Basically, a player wants to leave AC Milan and wants to go to Inter Milan. AC Milan will never allow that to happen. No chance are you going to strengthen your rivals as well. And it's like, if the player's pushing for it, they'll try and get the best deal for themselves, or they'll put the foot down and they'll make the player suffer in a way that he has to basically earn their trust back. That's one way you can look at it. But then if the player's forcing his way out of AC Milan to go to Inter Milan, the club will just look at it and go, right, you don't want to be here. We don't want to keep an unsettled player. Let's just try and get the best deal that we can. And it'll string on and it'll string on and it'll string on. And then on the last day sometimes, or the last week, that's when the player will start pushing even more. He'll get his friends involved. He'll get family involved on social media. Loads of things can happen for a deal. Loads of things can happen. I mean, look at Bazuma now. How many pictures has he put out? And he's put Arsenal shirts and scarves and bags all over these pictures. He's put one picture out where he's got a Brighton shirt, but he's got 3 Arsenal shirts in the background. Family relatives can play a massive part in trying to get one of their own into a club where they want to go.
Yeah.
It's just joining dots up.
Read it back. Anyway, another player everyone keeps talking about is Kyle Joseph. I've heard Arsenal scouted him. Whether they've approached him, I'm not sure. What about you guys? I've just heard Arsenal scouted him. You never heard of him?
I've not heard note about that.
I haven't even heard of him.
He's a very good talent. Plays for Wigan. Athletic.
But we can also say, this is an Arsenal news, regarding Lukaku, the only way he will leave Inter Milan is with his release clause. And that is, I think, 120 million euros, if I'm not mistaken.
And watch Chelsea pay it as well. Because that's what Roman does. When Roman wants something, he gets it. And that's nothing compared to them. They've just finished 4th in the Premier League. They're in Champions League. They've just won the Champions League. So that's more money on top. They don't need to go out and spend loads of money on players like they did in the summer. They need another midfielder. They need a centre-back and they need a striker, in my opinion. They could easily pay the release clause for Romelu Lukaku.
And they will, I feel. Time down to it, but I think they will.
N'Golo Kante is close to signing a new contract as well. Not an extension, a brand new contract where he could be on something like 370 a week.
It's mad how much money they have.
That's not me.
That's what's pushing me towards Daniel Ek.
That's what's also pushing, what's his name, Jorginho, more towards the exit. Because they do want to bring in Declan Rice.
Well, that's the question I was asked. Any update on Ek? I was asked in DMs.
I've heard that they will hold a meeting in somewhere in August time to discuss whether Conke will be interested in selling. Right now, Conke is not really interested in selling, but Daniel Ek's persistence, they've agreed a meeting in August to see if they can strike a deal. Whether they will is a different story.
Which is better than nothing at the moment.
Simon, question from C Walks. Idea where Zidane's going? Do you guys have an idea?
No.
No, I've not looked into this as much because I thought he might have took a time out, but he don't. He wants to get straight back into a job. So he could go to Tottenham. You never know. He could go there. But I've got no idea where he'd go.
I saw a question earlier. Thoughts on Edu? Now, I've heard some interesting news that I'll be happy to share. I'm pretty sure everybody knows. If Edu doesn't get the targets needed that Arsenal have asked, that Arteta's asked for, he will be shown he will be shown out of Arsenal. And the favorite to replace him is Luis Campos. No, Luis Campos, not Campos. Luis Campos from the former Lille director, the one that brought in Osimhen, Gabriel, all those type talents.
Yeah, he is good.
So he's very, very good, and Arsenal like the look of him. So if Eddie doesn't get his targets, they'll target him. What's your thoughts on Eddie, guys? Right, so far.
I like him as a
Would
person.
you want him sacked?
I wouldn't want him sacked. I would like to give him one more window, aka this window, as you've said. I like him as a person. Like, I not want to flex or anything, but like, I'll admit, when I heard about party happening, when it happened, I was delighted, and I remember putting a picture on my Instagram story, saying thank you so much, Eddie, for getting that done. And then he took out that time to even like it for that. Like, thank you message. He is a kind person. I even wish him happy birthday, and he messaged me back saying thanks.
Oh, dude.
So I think he is a sound guy, but I think obviously, nice guy aside, one more season. I'd say.
Sam, what about you?
I think with Edu, you can see with last summer's business, especially with obviously Hossim Awar, Arsenal were so confident that him and Partey were both coming. That's why when they put out the video of Santi Cazorla saying "No worries, mate," and they've got their logos in the back, that gives you a big indication that we could actually be signing these two players. It was Edu that the deal fell through with Awar because of certain terms that were changed, and he walked away rather than trying to basically iron them out. He just walked away from the deal so that it didn't happen. With Edu Gaspar, is still a novice. He's learning on the job, basically, a bit like Arteta. He's learning on the job. Arsenal, at the minute, they need someone to come in and know exactly what they're doing, basically, behind the scenes. You want that player, right? Go and get it done with reason and get it done. Edu seems to string it out a lot more. Arteta highlights players that he
like
wants.
playing a poker game.
Yeah.
I do like playing a poker game. You know, when you try and wait them out for them to reduce their price, which doesn't always work unless a team's desperate for money.
Same as Mari. They wanted 25 million for Mari when we first inquired about him, and Edu strung it on for so long that he actually got it down to only 10 million. But because he strung it on and strung it on and strung it on, it left no time basically in the window to go out and try and get anyone else, because you can't concentrate on 2 or 3 deals at the same time. You need to concentrate on one deal, get it done, then move on to the next deal. You can't just do 2 or 3 all at once. That's just, nobody ever does that. That's when you have a recruitment team that's not just Edu. There's like 5 Edus that are there trying to get deals done. But with Edu, for me, he's more bothered about bringing in South American players, and he's more bothered about trying to be a hit in Brazil with what he's doing with Arsenal than he is actually trying to help Arsenal on the pitch in the Premier League. For us, he walks into a room basically, and he walks into a room and he thinks he's the one with the biggest dick there, and then in reality he finds out he's not. He's the one with the smallest, and they laugh at him. This is the situation that he's in. Ralstonelli, as much as he did things that were not right, especially with Pepe, he went in there, and when he walked into that room, everyone stood up and took notice. That's the persona basically of the guy for Ralstonelli. He can get anything done like that. Same as Celiba. Arsenal didn't want to loan him back. They wanted him straight away, but the only way to get the deal done was to loan him back to St Etienne for a year. And they weren't happy about it, but it was too much of a good opportunity to miss. And only time will tell how William Celiba does at Arsenal in the next few years. That's when you can look at it and go, Rahul was right. or he was wrong.
Yeah. I've just found that clip that you're referring to about Sensi Cazorla. That I just can't believe was the highlight of our window, apart from getting partying. Right.
Oh, Overmars as well. Overmars as well would be very good as well.
He would. Especially as he knows Ajax well. Knows what's in their contracts, etc.
I'll wait for a few questions and end it there. Question. What deals are close to be completed?
Simon?
There's only one deal I'd say at the minute, and it's Bazuma. What we've all been told and what I've been told. I'm very confident on that one.
And the fact that there are, look at the posts, that's what we'll say.
The rest of them could all fall under. Emi Buendia could fall as well if Aston Villa up their price. If a Champions League team comes in for Hossein Mawar, that's it. It goes. If another team wants to pay higher for Bayer Leverkusen centre back and they're in the Champions League, there's another deal that can fall through. So, like I said, a deal is only done when the player has signed the contract. A player can still have a medical and still not sign for that club.
Yeah.
Daniel James is a prime example. That video is unbelievable to watch.
What, the one that he had? It's that Take Me Home Leeds, isn't it?
Yeah, we're crazy. He literally signed one contract that agreed to terms and stuff because it shows you him signing it, and that's after he had his medical. They'd already got ready for the announcement video, and they already put it out on their official website. And then all of a sudden, the deal just collapsed. Swansea pulled the plug at the last minute. It's going to be interesting when James it's going to be interesting when Daniel James, when Leeds go back in for him again this summer. Because they are going back in for him.
You think big deals will happen before the Euros or after? I think for the big deals, it will happen after Euros because they would want to string it out.
But the thing is,
Arsenal will want to get them done before, in case the value ends up going up and more teams get interested.
And I would
not only that, Arteta wants to have them know his squad for pre-season.
Yeah, he wants every one of his targets for pre-season on the first day. That's what he wants. Arteta says he's happy for the players that are already at Arsenal to end up being a week late. He wants the new players bedded into his team as quick as possible.
And I would also like to add, Awar isn't in the French team. Obviously, Basuma isn't in the Euros. And Buendia isn't in the Euros. But I think there's the Copa America. So that might delay that one. But also, the fact is that Arteta wants to get his players in as soon as possible, which is kind of good things. And people always forget. Now, as they voted last season to end the transfer window, I think it was August 31st now, instead of the last Thursday before the season starts. It opens officially, I think, in a week's time.
The 9th.
The 9th of June. We're still very early days into the window, and we're getting somewhat deals agreed, which is fantastic news.
But it shows you Arsenal pushing through Xhaka, pushing through Guendouzi, pushing through Kolasinac, pushing through with Eddie Nketiah, where he's being linked to this team and this team and this team. It shows you that Arsenal, people think that they just sit on their arse and then it gets to summer. Right, we'll start working. No, this has been done since the window last shut in the summer.
Yeah.
Every target Arsenal want is already lined up. Terms have already been agreed. That's why it'll happen in a blink of an eye. Same as Thomas Partey. Everyone's saying, they've got to agree terms with him. Well, no, they did that. It's just a release clause. As soon as you trigger that and they get that money and they've received it, there you go. The player's yours.
That was perfect how they did it, though. Literally, a few hours before it closed, so they couldn't buy a replacement, but they had to get Torreira in. So.
Yeah, because people were saying, well, why didn't they get Partey at the start of the window? And it's like, well, no, because then everyone knows that you've just paid 50 million euros for Thomas Partey, and it's a release clause, so you've paid that all up front. So then that's why Aouar was stretched out last summer, because you don't show your hand, basically, when you're doing this sort of stuff. If you go out and just say, right, say Chelsea in the summer, right, we pay 120 for Lukaku, we just paid his release clause. Now we want to go for Declan Rice, right, well, it's not 90 anymore now. We want 120 for him. Do they say, right, fair enough, or do they walk away? They'll leave it until the last day and they'll go, no, it's still 120. And that's how Leicester did it with Maguire. Man United thought they could bully Leicester into having Maguire. They literally told, it's like Sancho, they did the same with him as well. Dortmund laughed in the face of Manchester United. People are still talking about Man United and Sancho now. I think they should be worried about Liverpool and Chelsea. They're the closest at the minute. Chelsea have had an 80 million bid already on the table for the player. So anything can change. Just because you're Manchester United, because you're Arsenal, because you're Liverpool, doesn't matter. It does not matter to these clubs. It's a pandemic. They need to make as much money as they can. Norwich are not going to say, well, you know what? It's a pandemic. You can have Wendy for 15. We'll do 15 and then we'll probably put it up to 25 in add-ons. It's a pandemic. They need the best deal for them. They don't want to turn around and say to their fans, well, our best player's leaving. We didn't try and keep him. We tried, but we just gave up in the end.
Of course not. Yeah.
Tristan, we mentioned this earlier. 50% chance of Arsenal getting him. He's talking about Kaputsa.
Yeah, because people have said 70 million euros for this guy, and that's just false to begin with.
Yeah.
Pedro basically has got it spot on. 50 million is mostly what they will accept for this player.
Dortmund have got a new keeper. It's just been confirmed. The Stuttgart #1, that Koppel guy I was saying to you last night, it's confirmed. So, and it's also, Pedro has also said that Giroud is happening to AC Milan.
Yeah, I said that on the thing last night. I put it on Twitter as well. Like,
and apparently, Atletico Madrid want to buy Jordi Alba. Well, that would be an interesting one. According to Pedro, he has said that they prepared a proposal. So,
Simon, you said something about this. Nothing's going to change until there's a change at ownership level at Arsenal, but as long as the Gunners keep funding KSC's failed self-sustaining model, Kroenke has no reason to sell. I remember you doing a rant on this.
Hey, as much as a rant, it was just like, if you want the owner out, hit him where it hurts. Basically, his pocket. Hit him where it hurts. I mean, I've got no problem with the owners. I've got no problem with Kroenke whatsoever, because I know that it's not all just down to him. He's not the one that goes out and buys players. I mean, it was Wenger that went out and bought Granit Xhaka rather than N'Golo Kante, even though N'Golo Kante wasn't as high of a fee as it was for Granit Xhaka, but Wenger wanted Granit Xhaka, so he missed out on that one. It's not all just down to the owner. The owner doesn't pick the team. The owner doesn't sign the player. The owner doesn't do anything. All he does is just listens to what player Arsenal want. Make sure you actually give him a good reason for him to actually authorise his company to see off the deal and how it's going to improve his business. Then he'll sign it off.
Well, there were also that I'm not sure if you heard this, Simon, about that rumour that one time Raul Sanyehi and Edu went to Kroenke's house, and apparently they got turned away afterwards for a player that Unai Emery wanted. Apparently,
yes, because when they came to him, they didn't come to him with the right reasons. You have to convince them. You have to. When you want someone on a project, you have to convince them how the project benefits them in the long term, in the short term.
I don't know
what it means.
Who was the player? Do you know, Daniel?
Wilfried Zaha.
I did not know.
Because it was Zaha or Nicolas Pepe, and Pepe's ceiling was higher. But even though the fee was higher than it was for Zaha. But what the Kroenkes wanted to know is, which player is going to be the higher ceiling, which player is going to be beneficial for us to sell on so you can recruit most of that money back. And Wilfred Zaha, it were 40 million when Crystal Palace were demanding 70, but it were 40 million. But Zaha's not got a good ceiling. You're not going to get any good money back from Wilfred Zaha. Nicolas Pepe is young, upcoming, and now you're actually seeing him flourish towards the end of this season, playing week in and week out. That's your investment. And that's what Unai Emery wanted Zaha, because Premier League proven, and he could change a game like that for Crystal Palace. Not as much as goals and assists, but how he just basically moves and how he creates effects on the pitch. Nicolas Pepe was literally the go-to guy that every club in the world wanted. Tottenham inquired about him. Man United were desperate to sign him. Liverpool wanted him, but they wanted him as squad depth. Napoli bent over backwards, nearly put themselves in financial trouble trying to get that deal done. And it was Arsenal that went in and did the best deal for Pepe. And Kroenke signed it off.
I know, but I swear that Napoli always go for Arsenal targets. Like, we've had Tierney even links with them. They've had quite a few of them. I know
Tierney because they have this. I know they have like a similar. I don't know. They're just like Arsenal players.
Well, it's like if Arsenal, right, were in the Champions League and Messi was up on a free transfer. Arsenal would bend over backwards to get Messi. They would happily pay him the contract that he wants. If it were a 2-year contract or a 3, they would pay it because it's Messi, the best player in the world, image rights, following. This is why Mesut Ozil stayed at Arsenal for so long, and how managers had to deal with Ozil. Not that Ozil didn't want to go, but Ozil as a name is bigger than Arsenal. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Ozil is known around the world as literally loved by everyone in the world. This is why Fenerbahce have snapped him up, and it's the greatest achievement in their life and in the history of Turkey, because it's just you're bringing a global megastar to your club. There's no surprise why their following has gone up, their image have gone up. Adidas have jumped on board and gone, you know what, Fenerbahce, we'll be happy to sponsor you in the next few years. Tell you, Fenerbahce will be moving places in the future. They will be going places.
Well, they've also secured, if you remember, Biglia from AC Milan. With him as well. Another big name in Italy.
Just because it's Mesut Ozil, they'll be like, oh, why is he going to go there? It makes other players look at it and go, I'm interested what's happening over there. And they'll be interested and they'll go into it. Same as Fenerbahce in January tried to actually get Eden Hazard on a 6-month loan till the end of the season. They actually inquired about Hazard. And Hazard wanted to go just on loan for game time to get his stamina up, to get his energy levels up, and because Mesut Ozil even reached out to him.
Yeah.
Any more questions before I end the stream, guys? It's been a very good stream. Thank you, Tony and Simon. I have to get back to what I was doing. So, any more questions, guys?
No, I've got no more questions.
Neither do I.
So thank you guys for watching the video. Thank you, Simon and Tony, for being good co-hosts. This was actually a very good episode.
Yeah, it was fun.
Only meant to go 30 minutes, ended up an hour. So thank you guys. I hope to see you guys all next time. And yeah, we've got a new era for all things Arsenal. I hope you guys enjoy. Please like, subscribe, and see you guys later. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.